Hey buddies, SomeNutsGuy here. Hope you're having an awesome day so far. Today we're going to be teaching you about the best flying mounts in RLCraft and the reasons why in some of the situations that you might want to use one over the other. I think one of them might have just escaped. I don't know how it managed to escape out of a single 1x1 hole, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so there's two flying mounts which I would really say are the best, and you'd probably want both for different situations. He escaped over there somehow. Jiggy deaky. Okay, so the first one, and probably going to be the one that's easier to obtain, is going to be a rock. Not a rock on the floor, no, a rock the type of bird. Now, the rock is both the rock and the morok both have a base speed. If you check their index, if you check the bestiary, the rock and the morok both have a base speed of 42, which is, I believe, the fastest speed that you can have as a beast. So as an example, there's a few other ones. We've got the avian, which is a giant bat, base speed of 32. You've got the aberration beholder, base speed of 24. So these are the fastest flying mounts in terms of base speed. Now additionally, they both have additional benefits, little abilities that can help you in some way or another. The rock can actually pick things up with its little pincery type tail there, and the morok has a dash ability. So I use the morok for traveling. They're spazzing out there a little bit. I use the morok for sort of actual traveling, long distance traveling. And I use the rock where something a little bit smaller, where you need a little bit more finesse, or for when you might need to pick something up. Perhaps you're trying to make a villager farm, or gather animals, or maybe just troll your friends, and off there he goes again. Okay, all right, later, dude. Guess we need another one of those. So they're both very good flying mounts. Now, how you go about taming them is very, very simple. You need to use treats. As with any taming, you're going to need to use the correct treat. So as you saw in the index, the bestiary, the avian is the rock, and the dragon, or the morok, is a dragon. So you need avian treats for the rock, and dragon treats for the morok. And it's very, very simple. All you gotta do is just go up to it with avian treats in your hand, and right click. Now we're gonna go into survival so you can see the messages. In fact, the messages are right behind me. So we're gonna remove the webcam for you there very quickly. Hey man, so you can see those messages. So you got the message in the bottom left, and it will say something along the lines of, hey man, stay still. The rock wants more. The rock seems to love you. And now they're fighting. And in terms of the morok, same thing again. The morok wants more. The morok wants more. The morok seems to love you now. Fantastic. So both have been tamed. However, at this stage, let's bring the webcam back. However, at this stage, if they are killed, they will die. Gone forever. So what you need to do is you need to soulstone them. A soulstone is consumed, and it will say your morok has been bound. You will now find it in your mount manager. This binding, this soul binding, means that it can never die. Even though the morok's just disappeared for some wacky reason. You can find them in your mount section. So your morok will here, you can summon it. You can, if it dies, it will respawn. Same thing with the rock, of course, and it's super duper helpful. I should probably go back into creative so we're not dying of freezing and getting that annoying noise. Now, as you can see, they're flying around quite manically. Oh, he comes back. What I would highly recommend doing with your flying mount specifically would be to put them on sit and passive. Sit and passive. That means that they're not going to attack anything, and it also means that they don't fly around. So I can easily just have this here, and I can go off and do my business, and I can come back, and it will still be here, ready for me to mount it if I need to in a hurry. Now, when you've tamed something, you can crouch and right-click to access their menu. You can equip a chest, which will give them a storage. Different size creatures have different size storages when you add a chest. And you can add a saddle and some armor. So your rock will now take less damage. You can mount it just by right-clicking, and you can now fly around. You would want to check the keybinds in the game to see what your binds are bound to in terms of your mount's ability. For me, I've bound it as T, so I can go around and, as an example, I could pick up this nymph. Maybe I need some healing on the go. I can press T, and I can now carry this nymph with me. You know, it's not gonna, if I leave the rock, it's not gonna stay there for long. But you know, if I need to heal, I can kind of pick this up and fly around with it, and I can be healing while I'm flying around, as an example. Same kind of concept with the Morok. Different ability, obviously. We need to wait for our spirit. So a side note, you have spirit. Your max spirit is 10. Certain creatures will take X amount of spirit to be able to maintain them in the world, basically. This is how you're limited in terms of how many tames you can have out at the same time. So you need to wait for your spirit to refill before you can tame another one. So if you're ever trying to summon a tame and you're like, why is it not summoning, what's going on? Check to make sure first that hasn't died. You'll see a timer here, it says respawn in X amount of time. And check to make sure that you have enough spirit to actually summon it. So our Morok takes 8, so we can now summon our Morok. And we can pop our saddle and our armor on him, and we can now fly him. Now the Morok has a dash ability like mentioned. If I press T for me, check the keybinds for yourselves and set it to what you want, it does a dash ability. This can get you around very quickly. However, take note, if you're playing on a server or not the best computer, dashing around a lot very quickly can cause a lot of lag. Other than that, guys, these are the two main flying mounts I would use. Other ones that I might consider for specific purposes are things like the Beholder. It shoots a projectile that explodes and destroys blocks. Not a lot of uses for that unless you want to troll your friends, which I don't necessarily encourage, but to each their own. And obviously we've just covered flying mounts today. If you guys would like me to cover other tameable creatures for whatever reason, then please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing. And hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Take care.